Everything is figure outable. Figure outable. In other words, if you're presented with a problem or something you need to accomplish, you can figure it out. You don't have to be like college trained or have years and years and years on the job to figure it out. You can figure it out. All you got to do is use your noggin, right? Maybe a little bit of that stick-to-itiveness, maybe a little elbow grease. Double up on that elbow grease. A little bit of ingenuity, I guess you could say. Using your abilities to reason and think and stick to it. These days, with the way technology is, the internet, YouTube, of course, all the search engines, this and that, you can find almost anything. You can figure out how to do almost anything by taking time, doing a little research, and thinking it through. I was talking to a guy who the engine light is on in his car and his tags have expired. It's not me. Okay, my engine light's always on, but he lives in a county in a part of the state where you have to have your car working perfectly good for it to pass your emissions test in order to get your registration and tags renewed on your car. Well, he has been driving around for 2 weeks now with expired tags and expired registration. And a lot of people don't know this, but your insurance company keeps up with that kind of stuff. If you're driving around on a car that's got expired tags and registration, it's a very good possibility your insurance company already knows about that, and they consider that driving illegally, which means that if something happens while you're out driving that vehicle, right, you could be held financially liable and have civil liability and maybe even criminal liability, right? Which means if you damage somebody's other property or hurt an individual or somebody in your car gets hurt, you're financially responsible for every bit of that. If you damage other people's property, you're financially responsible for that, right? If the cops are involved, they can arrest you, because if you're driving illegally due to expired registration and tags, and your insurance company says, hey, that's being irresponsible and illegal, we're not going to cover, your vehicle and the damages caused by that, even if it's not your fault, right? If it's totally not your fault. It could be somebody else was driving erratically and caused a wreck, right? And you're involved in it. But for the simple fact that you don't have your registration and tags, right, you're liable, right? Insurance company may not help you out. But anyway, back to the point of, he says he's not inclined to figure things out like that, to figure out why his car does not have uh, or why his car cannot pass the emissions test. Why is his engine light on? This and that. I tried to tell him, you could take your car down to an auto parts place like AutoZone or O'Reilly's Auto Parts, something like that. And they have this device they can plug in. It's a tester, and it will read, the different codes that the computer in your car puts out. And his car is, within that range of dates and years where it has computer in it, and they can hook that up, and they can tell him the codes and what it means and what they recommend for him to actually, correct the problem on his car. I told him that a week ago, and he still hasn't done it. He's still driving around on expired tags and registration. The point I'm trying to make is, if you have the desire and you really want to figure something out, you can. The technology these days allows you to do that. All you got to do is drive your car down to O'Reilly's. They'll hook it up, read the, what the computer says to the test module, give you write down, the codes that it puts out, what they mean, how you can fix it. Do they have the part in stock? How much does it cost? Sometimes they'll even help you replace the part, depending on what it is. If it's a simple sensor, yeah, they could help you replace it right there on the spot. But not every auto parts employee wants to help you. They just want to do the basics and get a paycheck for it. But there are some out there that will take the time and the effort. I mean, they'll hang in there with you and help you do what you need to do, because that's professionalism. That's good for business. The car computer does not automatically reset that engine light whenever you replace the part. Sometimes it takes miles. You have to get in your car and drive it. Sometimes it takes starting the car and stopping it, starting the car and stopping it several times before the computer says, oh, well, we've started and gone through this and that, and now we know that we've had so many times of starting and stopping or so many miles of running that we haven't had a problem. So let's go ahead and clear out, the engine light and the computer codes, right? Back to nothing, right? But you got to remember that, there could be multiple problems, but you could still figure it out. You got different codes. It'll give you those different codes. Replace one module, drive it a little bit, stop it a little bit. It should clear out that problem. Then you go on to the next thing, you fix that. Depending on what it is and whether or not you truly have the capability to do that, or the person at the auto parts. Anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to say is, with the way everything is today, you can figure it out. You can actually, you can, no matter what it is in your life, whether it be a computer problem, a car problem, a problem with your grass in your yard, an animal, anything, right? You can get online, you can do research. There are places you can go online and you can actually ask questions. You can find people that have that knowledge. If it's something like, say, you don't understand why the hair on your goat grows only 1/4 of an inch versus 5 inches, right, compared to the hair that grows on their back, well, you might be able to find somebody who has knowledge of that, and be able to communicate with them, from anybody around the world. So really, I guess the point or the message I'm trying to relay here is that there are people who will not do anything. They won't put forth the effort. They will not take the time, do the research, probably because they're just not interested. They don't want to, right? But that's not an excuse. That's not a good excuse. If they're mentally or physically incapable, I understand that. But a majority of us have the ability to communicate, right? And to do research, much more these days than, say, 20 or 30 years ago. And as the years go by, it's going to get better and better and better. You're really going to be able to, find that knowledge, that you need to be able to do things. You could save thousands of dollars by doing all this stuff yourself. You take your car to a mechanic, bam, could be $1,200 right there just to replace a couple of sensors. So learning how to do things, doing it on your own, taking the time to research, figure things out. Sure, you may have to buy a couple of tools. You may have to buy the parts. You may have to, get in there and, trial and error, try to figure out how to do things. And yeah, you may actually, scrape a knuckle or hit your elbow on something. But in the end, you'll be proud of yourself. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish if you just put your mind to it. I guess that's the message I'm trying to put out. I don't know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. It's been about a week since I put out a video, and I was sitting here thinking, hey, I need to put out another video. And of course, I ended up talking to somebody about their car and the problems on their car and how they have not done anything about it, right? Well, with a little encouragement, maybe this person will get things done. Well, I'm going to get back to doing what I was doing. Maybe do a little clip art, make me a little, whatever you call it for this video. And I'll see you later. If you could, watch some of my other videos. I don't know, I'll just make random videos here or there. I'm not, my channel is not necessarily about one specific category of stuff or things or knowledge or whatever. It's just whatever I think of making a video of, I'm going to do it. So give me some thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and make a comment. Tell me what you think. All right, back to what I was doing. See you later.